Tanwar. She is a junior executive member at Youth India Foundation Chapter SRCC. So, welcome to
Yes.
Profit with
Thank you, Monica.
welcome
Thanks
to
for inviting me here. Appreciate it.
Sir.
I'm just saying thank you for inviting me here. I appreciate all the work you guys are doing and effort you guys are putting together.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Hmm. Welcome to Profit with Purpose. Today we are excited to have Nitesh Kumar Jangir, a trailblazer in healthcare and the co-founder of COEO Labs and Inaxil. His groundbreaking work, including innovations like SANS and VAP care, has revolutionized critical and maternal care globally. The impact he created through his entrepreneurship journey is truly inspiring. Thank you, sir, for joining us. Today we look forward to learn from your experiences on how social entrepreneurship can fuel both business growth and social change.
Sir, would you like to say something?
I'm really excited to be here and share my own experience and tell what are the mistakes I did and how in future if you guys want to do the same thing again, so they can do it with more efficiency and a faster time to impact and profits.
Okay,
Yes,
sir.
so thank you. So, can we start with the questions?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, starting with, sir, can you share the journey behind founding COEO Labs and Inaxil? Like, what challenges did you face in bringing your ideas to life?
Yeah, I think the journey started even from my childhood. I myself was a baby who was born premature in remote rural area of Rajasthan. The and from what my family tells me, I don't remember now because as a 3-month old kid, I don't remember anything. I won't remember anything. Is that they faced a lot of difficulties. Uh, they had to go through many hospitals to make sure that my life, they can save my life. I survive, and even today, when I'm seeing the situation during in my village areas and many rural areas, that uh, availability of quality healthcare is not available. Somehow, because of my parents' effort, I was lucky to survive in those days, where really high newborn mortality was there, and almost most premature babies were dying. I was lucky to survive that, but I know many are not do not have that kind of fortune, and that's why I always had interest in uh, improving healthcare across the society. I did my schooling from same my village school, then did my engineering. Post my engineering, I joined a program called Stanford India Biodesign Program, which was a program funded by Department of Biotechnology, housed at Ames, Delhi. It was a tri-university program, and I got an opportunity to get training in that program. Uh, as a it used to call Stanford India Biodesign Internship Program. So I got my training in designing medical technologies and medical innovation. Post I did that program, I started in COEO Labs, and now which has become in Excel as well. So that's how the whole journey was. The part part to it wasn't easy, but then I had one of my teachers at Biodesign, Dr. Jagdish Chaturvedi. He taught me an interesting thing. He said, if you think that jobs, normal traditional jobs and other things are easier or less risk taking, then his view was that it's it's riskier to be in traditional jobs. Anything if you are doing entrepreneurship, if you figure out everything in advance, if you figure out from where funding would come, if you figure out how the sales would happen, how much development time will happen beforehand, and then you start your journey, it's actually less risky. And the kind of knowledge, the kind of experience you get in those few years, if you even if you are not successful in your venture, you can easily go back and join any other organization, start working there, and your career growth would be at least 10x. So whatever you would be, whatever the kind of role you would be getting after 10 years, 15 years, that you would be getting here now itself. And that I've seen in my journey, that there were people who joined our organization within few years. They were able to get really senior position in many large multinational, which was not which would not have happened if they were not here, because the kind of learning they get. And the major issue, what we saw, that uh, India is not a medical devices place. We import more than 75% of our medical devices. Recent ENY report stated the same. And the challenge is not about importing. I'm not against import, because we are living in a global world. Uh, the challenge is that even after importing, even after paying so much for these technologies, we don't get the most optimum care, because these are not designed for our healthcare settings. Just to give you an example, that okay, we import diabetic shoes, very specialized shoes for Indian, not Indian, but for the people who have diabetic neuropathy. It's a condition where your nerves start getting damaged due to high sugar level. Uh, and assume that okay, now it's fine. People are not going to get diabetic foot ulcer. People get injuries in diabetic people get injuries which are really hard to treat, and those become ulcers, or really big wounds, or again hard to treat wounds. But then they never know that many of our people go to places where they have to remove their shoes or chappals. They cannot they cannot take those shoes chappals inside. So even after paying that much, because those things are not designed for our environment, our settings, we don't get the most optimum outcome out of it. And that was the reason we started working on Co-OEO Labs, which is Co-OEO Labs are now in Excel, which is a need-based innovation organization. So unlike traditional systems where we go and see what is available in the market and see how we can make it cheaper, how we can make it more affordable, and just copy paste. We do the other way around. We use the innovation process called biodesign, which is a modified version of design thinking, where we go and spend 2-3 months in hospitals. We shadow doctors. We ask them question about everything which goes wrong. We call it negative outcome reporting, where we'll we look at any condition which goes wrong. Say same thing. If a person with diabetic foot injury comes to an emergency, and after a couple of days they have to cut this person's leg, so we asked, okay, why did you cut this person's leg? Where we could have solved it. So we start the journey the day he got, or he or she or this person got diabetes. From there, you start and track the whole journey. That where we could have done an intervention to save this person's leg. Same thing if somebody is having post surgery complications, somebody is having any reason why they are getting negative outcomes in their healthcare, we start tracking and start studying that where we can bring in an intervention. So I did the same thing. I spent 3 months in an emergency room to understand that where things are going wrong in emergency, and how we can solve key critical problems. And interestingly, in this emergency room, we had three different departments combined. There was emergency critical care, which is emergency ICU, and there was a pediatric emergency. So three different ICUs were or departments were together treating the patient, and that's where now we have innovations coming out of all three different department, which and all these three innovation, as mentioned by Monica earlier, that one of them is SaaS, other one is web care, and then we have a few more in our pipeline which are coming out soon. And the innovations like SaaS web care are those which are uh, sitting really well in our Indian healthcare setting, and creating real impact, helping both, yeah, not just helping patient, caregiver, as well as our health system. So we have figured out the full journey, and from payer to beneficial, and made sure that everybody or all stakeholders are aligned to uh, to whatever the technology or whatever the solution we introduce in the system. So then we get optimal outcome for our patients.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
sir, for sharing your journey.
Yes, sir, your journey is truly inspiring, and I would like to add something that I'm also from Rajasthan, and the healthcare in rural areas in Rajasthan is truly miserable, even in 2024. So, I think we need one or two more social entrepreneurs like you to like correct the situations.
True, it's not just one state. I would say this is the issue across the world. Many times
Yes, sir.
we don't think about what happens in many of the developed countries. But if you look at the maternal mortality rate of Texas, correct? It's a state in U.S. Uh, State Kerala is doing way better than Texas. So it's not just what we see in these areas. It's about there are people, there are communities which are not getting benefited of good quality healthcare, and our mission at in Excel is that only that how we use technology as a tool to enable access to really high quality healthcare, because now access to healthcare is not the key. That's been there. Now you can have access to healthcare, but then what quality of healthcare you are getting is the question. Is your healthcare outcomes are similar to the best in the world? Yeah. And the question is it possible? Answer is yeah, it's possible. People have shown it that it's possible. Now it's more about studying the places where it has been done, and then figure out that with our limited resources, how we can deliver the same thing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
100% agreed, sir.
Okay, sir. So moving to the next question, like what inspired you to focus on developing particularly life-saving healthcare technologies like SANS? Was there a personal experience that shaped this vision?
The personal experience was this itself, seeing being in rural area, seeing people around me not getting access to good quality healthcare, with really close relatives of mine losing their life because they get a heart attack, and the nearest cardiologist available is 6 or 7 hours away. So how you can get that, how you can bring the care closer and closer to the patient, and that was the sole reason that why I'm developing or why I'm working in this area. Because for me, it's all about, again, to bring care to closer to the patient, and reduce dependency on caregiver as much as possible. So then they can also start optimizing their time, and we can start and almost everyone, all the patients start getting this good quality healthcare.
Yes, sir, it's really inspiring. Now Anshika will take over.
Okay, sir. So the next question that I would like to ask is, how did you identify the gaps in emergency and critical care that led to innovations like SANS and VAP care?
So the process I follow, as I told earlier, is for bio design. So me myself, along with two of my other the co-founders, we went and spent time in emergency room. We spent 24 hours there. Literally, we were living there, and just seeing what's going wrong there. And we were not looking at that wrong in terms of that whether caregivers are doing wrong. We were just seeing that why these patients are even ending up in emergency room. What's going wrong across their healthcare journey. And we had many patients like this. We actually had more than 100 needs, which we documented, and we filtered them. We It's a very systematic process. So we filter them. Okay, last 2 months, how many times we have seen this happening? How many times a person with diabetic foot injury came in and then lost their limb? How many times somebody who is having poison, who had poison, and came in with sepsis or got into shock or any other injury? how many times there was a patient with traumatic brain injury. When till the time they reached to this hospital, they were severe pressure inside their brain, and then lost their brain function. So we look at the frequency, and also we look at also the impact, that what kind of impact it has on both patients, caregivers, what they think, how severe it is, as well as from the caregiver side. Many times we as a patient think, oh, it's a very serious thing. Oh, just some amount of blood has come out, something. So we get panicked. But then from caregiver side, then oh, in my opinion, it's not a big deal. I can just solve it in a minute. It's not a big problem for me. And sometimes what we think it's not a big problem, caregivers think no, it's a big problem, problem. So we rank everything. Look at the in the same process. We also look at all the stakeholders who is aligned. We also look at this simple thing that okay, why if it is that big problem, why nobody is solving it? Where are the challenges? What are the barriers to it? We also look at the accessibility. That if I solve this problem, uh, how I can whatever the innovation I bring in, how I can how accessible that can be to the last mile healthcare uh, delivery person or healthcare receiving person. So we look at everything, then select 4 5 top needs to work on, and that's how we selected SaaS as well as WebCare. Then SaaS for need for SaaS was for SaaS, the need was also came from two of my other co-inventors, Dr. Data Santarino, who is a pediatrician in Uganda, and Dr. Chris Olson, who is a pediatrician and internalist at Harvard Medical School. So we all three came together, and then Data told this problem that okay, the issue of babies not receiving appropriate respiratory support on time. He's saying it's 10 times higher in Uganda than what you see in India, and he's saying our challenges are even more severe. So that's how we all collaborated together, and then designed or started working on the solution called SaaS, which is the Hindi word for breath.
Okay, sir, truly inspiring and insightful. So, sir, the next question that I would like to ask is like, you are a social entrepreneur and your business is also based on your personal experience. So, sir, how does it feel when you help a patient and they get cured from their disease? So, how does it feel like? What is the feeling on from your side?
It feels really great. I would say yeah, one of the greatest feeling when you walk in an ICU for you walk in an emergency room and you see your solutions are getting used there. You see a newborn who's once your device is connected, their oxygen levels are getting improved from 60% to 95%, and you see in few days those babies will be discharged. But that's a great feeling, especially in the places which are really remote, which are where there is no other way. These patients could have got treatment if our technology was not enabling caregivers to do that. So yeah, I think that's the biggest capital. That's the biggest gain you get out of it. And I always tell everyone that medical technology or healthcare is one of those fields where there is a huge amount of profits. You can really make good fortune out of it, while without not breaking patients' bank. Plus, the kind of impact you can create on people's life is unimaginable. There's no other field like this where you can solve people's life, have have a good economic outcome out of it, and have peaceful sleep. So I think this has been the greatest achievement what we have now. Close to every year, more than 1 lakh babies are getting treated with our technology, and that was last year data. So now this year data would be even higher. There have been multiple trials, studies by very renowned scientists on the work we have done, showing the the kind of impact it is actually creating in controlled environment as well as in field. There are states where our technologies have been deployed across state. Each and every public hospital is using our solution, showing a good amount of reduction in newborn deaths or newborn mortality. So knowing this and seeing this in life is something which is really satisfactory.
Yes, sir. I can also feel it is an amazing feeling. What I also feel is making profit is easier than getting blessings. And what you are doing is truly amazing because you are getting blessings from people. It's truly amazing, sir.
Yeah, thank you. I think that was
Yes,
the
sir.
goal to help. So, being a premature baby myself, that I just wanted to make sure that all premature babies, when they receive all the proper treatment, and they do not have any kind of problems immediately as well as lifelong problems, because premature babies can have lifelong problems by if they don't receive proper treatment on time. So I want to reduce that as much as possible.
Great, sir. So now I would like
Yes.
Monica to take on.
Yes, sir. Going ahead. So we see underserved regions often face significant challenges in accessing quality maternal or child health care due to limited resources and infrastructures. So considering these barriers, how do you think like your technology SANS played a transformative role in improving outcomes for mothers and children in such areas?
Yeah, I think the biggest issue was this only, that in now looking at India, uh, we don't have much infrastructure issue. A lot of infrastructure is available. The major challenge is that only, even for the public procurement system, that they can buy things which are available. And nobody is, or not many people are designing innovative solutions for Indian settings. So even after investing a lot in infrastructure, especially from the public healthcare perspective, the most optimum therapies are not were not getting delivered, and that's where SaaS came in. As I told, now multiple states have deployed it across whole state, and the feedback which we are getting, especially from the nurses, because we always forget actually healthcare is run by nurses. So whatever the solution we should design, we ideally should design it for nurses, specifically if they are not doing surgery. If it is, if innovation is about out of surgeries, mostly nurses or technicians will be using your solution. And the feedback we get from nurses saying that, "Sir, this is the easiest device we have ever used." So if it is easier for them, they are going to use it more, and when they are going to use it more, you are going to see the more real life impact and the more real life outcome which will change. So that way our solutions are working really well in all those resource limited settings, and making sure that whatever the resource is available, the quality of care does not change. Because see, this one theory, a lot of people always think about, okay, if it is low resource thing, let's give them something, right? Uh, but the question should be other way around, that you identified a need, then you design a solution in such a way that the best available care is available to everyone. It shouldn't be this thought itself should be banned, that you are giving something which you know is not the gold standard to a low resource setting, and justifying at least there is something. Instead of that, let's start working on background, and see how we can deploy the best solution and enable the best quality of healthcare for all these guys.
Yes, sir. What you said is completely true. So moving ahead to next question, like what are the biggest barriers to adopt innovative medical technologies in India, and how have you worked to overcome them?
Yeah, so the biggest barrier to adoption would be, actually there are many. I think the biggest I would say is, we don't have a big or a lot of venture capital or traditional investment going into medical technology innovation. and it's an expensive area to work in. It requires a lot of lot of testing, a lot of regulatory approval, which is essential. I say we should do it, but there is a lot of cost gets into it. So there's a lack of funding into this sector. So that's one area which leads to not non-optimal solution. Then there is a or huge lack of a proper clinical trial and testing system. Which is easily accessible at a cost effective rate, and also faster. So that's the ideal environment. So how we enable the quality testing into our system. Once it is there, there's also so the way our healthcare is, there's no national body which can say, okay, I have tested this product, I have tested this solution. Now each hospital should adopt it because we see it's the best. So there's no recommendation body which can tell everyone that, okay, use this solution, this is the best. So that also leads to slower adoption as compared to many of our Western counterparts, where they have FDA or many different CDC and many other organizations which can do recommendation of certain therapies, certain products, certain innovations, and which are accepted across the board. So that's another big challenge you find in adoption. And I would say even the biggest challenge being a small company and startups is the lack of human resource. Correct. So if you want to reach to all these hard to reach area, you need more people who can go and who can go talk about your solution. Once your solution into the system, help caregivers to implement it, deploy it, work with them to successfully treat the patient. So not I would say, because being a startups are not the most lucrative companies. Even when we look at, say, SRCC, guys would rather join McKinsey, Bain, or any other ENY or any other organization. And if a small new age finance company comes, I would say that would be on the last GPA people list. That if we don't get anything, let's go for it. So it's not something aspirational. So how to get good talent into these kind of high income, high impact field is something which we are still struggling with to get more and more to inspire more people to join this segment or this field.
Yes, sir. Now Anshika will take over.
Okay, sir. Sir, as you are a social entrepreneur who is doing impressively great in their sector. So, sir, what do you think are the top three qualities, according to you, that a social entrepreneur should have?
I think the biggest quality is that don't first thing remove social out of your this thing. It's entrepreneurship. In the end, it's a business. Just start focusing on profits, because that's what my professor told me, that we are in a business. Whatever you do, you are going to help people. Now just start figuring out the way you can make it sustainable, you can make it lucrative for investors to invest in, so you can scale it up. That's the first thing. The second thing, unlike traditional technology entrepreneurship, this kind of entrepreneurship require long haul. It's a longer journey than traditional entrepreneurship. So be ready for a long haul. Plan your finances, plan your life, plan things at least for 5 to 6 years of period. If you are doing anything before that, you may not be doing justice to whatever you are doing. So that's the second quality, that you should have patience and persistence. And if you have these two, you will be successful. There's no question on no question on that side itself.
Okay, nice, sir. So, I will also be working to like develop these qualities in me. Okay. So, sir, next question is like, what is the best piece of advice that you have received from someone that has truly impacted your life and has created a like impact in your life?
Yeah, I think it was a fellow entrepreneur, and the one of the senior from biodesign told me. I asked him for some advice. Uh, he's saying, "Don't take any advice." So he said, because he said, whatever the advice I'll give you, you are not going to accept it. You are going to do whatever you want to do. You are going to learn from your own mistakes. You can avoid few by if I tell you, but then you will have your own unique journey. So I think that was really great advice, because when I look back, many times I do the same thing. I take advice from a lot of people that in the end I end up doing what I wanted to do in first place itself. So uh, so yeah, so this was the great advice I got, and which really changed many things. That I started going doing things in which faster way, and started figuring out that which advice to take, which advice not to take.
Okay, so sir, the mantra of your life is just go with the flow.
Yeah, plan the flow. I think go with the flow would be the hard. You plan the flow, how it should be. So you go with the plan, but be open to any changes, and be flexible to any changes in that plan.
Okay, sir. So the one more thing I learned today is not go with the flow, but plan the flow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I would like Monica to take on.
Yes, sir. I would like to ask if you were not social entrepreneur, what you would like to be?
I was clear. I wanted, or I was, would be in defense doing defense research. So it was more about either I would be making machines to kill, or I would be making now I'm making machines to save. So I would be doing one of those.
Oh, it's really nice. So next question I would like to ask is nowadays we see youth facing so much mental pressure. So what advice you would like to give to youth to overcome that?
I think today's youth face a lot of mental pressure is also because of the amount of opportunities, the amount of knowledge, the amount of information they have is immense. So start channeling your anger, your angst, any negative emotion you have into the positive emotion. Start gathering all the information and knowledge, and start applying it in today's world. Doing new things, doing innovation, trying out things, it's not at all hard. So, and don't get demotivated when things fall off. You can quickly start. And specifically in today's world, specifically if you are looking at the economic opportunity, there are huge opportunities. So if you are motivated, you get hired easily. You can start your own work easily, and whatever your talent is, you if you just put some amount of hard work into this, you will be successful. Just don't get into social media trap and start copying others. So you just you just look at your own talent and just work on it, and just give it honest few years. Things will be fine. In today's world, I don't think so there's anything which can go wrong, or anybody who does hard work is getting successful, and I would say they will be successful.
Thank you, sir. It's really a great advice. Now Anshika will take over.
Okay, sir. So now I would like to ask, where do you see yourself in next 10 years?
That's a nice question. I definitely haven't planned for next 10 years. Yeah. But most probably, what the kind of journey I'm seeing, I would have founded at least 3 4 more companies by then, and then looking at least the work which I'm doing right now, and then will be on at least I would say 4 to 5 crores people would be getting treatment by my innovations and my solutions. So that's the next 10 years. I'm looking at that. Every year, minimum 1 crore patients should get treatment, or get better treatment than what they are getting right now, through my innovation and through my work.
Okay, amazing, sir. This is truly a very nice goal. Okay, so sir, this would be the last question from our side. And the question is like, sir, there are a lot of aspiring social entrepreneurs like us. So, what is a piece of advice that you would like to give them? so that they can like excel in their social entrepreneurship journey?
Um, I think the biggest piece of advice is don't do anything which is radical. Look at incremental innovation. Look at the places where there is a gap, and how by improving a little bit, you can improve the outcomes. Because in that way, then you what your solutions acceptability in initially would be really high. Because if you start doing something which is really new, and is something people never heard of. The establishing and acceptance for that takes a lot of time. So you start with something which is small or relatively is a small barrier to entry, and then parallelly you keep on working on something which has higher barrier to entry, and start reducing barrier to entry for the larger one over the time. So you will have constant successes over the time. First in the small from the place where there is less barrier of entry with incremental innovation, and once you are successful there, you will be having even larger impact with something new which you have created. So initially start think about incremental innovation, then go for the any drastic innovation or a new innovation.
Okay, sir, this is truly incredible. We learned a lot of things from you. And to end the formal part, I would like to say thank you, sir, for taking the time to join us for the interview. Your insights were truly inspiring and left us with a fresh perspective about entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. And it was a pleasure to learn from your journey. And we are grateful for your valuable contribution. So, once again, thank you so much, sir, to be a part of this Profit with Purpose podcast.
Thank you, Anshika and Monica. I really appreciate, especially in the young age, you are doing this amazing podcast and taking all this effort. And I was telling you that in today's age, it is possible. Where even in this young age, you guys are able to do this kind of thing, which was not possible even few years back. So really appreciate the kind of amazing work you guys are doing.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, from this, the formal part of the interview is done. If you have any questions, you can ask us.
No, I think it's pretty straightforward. I just you guys would be cutting and I think fixing
Yes,
the video, correct?
yes.
Perfect. Yeah. Uh, Perfect, Anshika. I just need to leave, so I'll just
Okay. Thank you,
grab
sir. Thank
it,
you for your time, sir.
anytime, anytime.
Thank you
Thank
so much. Thank you so much.